Hi guys, here is chapter 4 through 7 of James and the Giant Peach. James Henry Trotter stood there clutching the bag and staring at the old man. "And now," said the old man, "all you've got to do is this. Take a large jug of water, pour all the little green things into it. Then, very slowly, one by one, add 10 hairs from your own head. That sets them off. It gets them going. In a couple of minutes, the water will begin to froth and bubble ferociously. And as soon as that happens, you must quickly drink it all down, the whole jugful, in one big gulp. And then, my dear, you will feel it churning and boiling in your stomach. Steam will start coming out of your mouth. And immediately after that, marvelous things will start happening to you. Fabulous, unbelievable things. And you will never be miserable again in your entire life. Because you are miserable, aren't you? You needn't tell me. I know all about it. Now, off you go and do exactly as I say. And don't whisper a word of this to those two horrible aunts of yours. Not a word. And don't let those green things in there get away from you. Don't do it. Because if they do escape, then they will be working their magic upon somebody else instead of upon you. And that isn't what you want at all, is it, my dear? Whoever they meet first, be it a bug, an insect, an animal, or a tree, that will be the one who gets the full power of their magic. So hold the bag tight. Don't tear the paper. Off you go. Hurry up. Don't wait. Now's the time. Hurry. With that, the old man turned away and disappeared into the bushes. Chapter 5. The next moment, James was running back toward the house as fast as he could go. He would do it all in the kitchen, he told himself. If only he could get in there without Aunt Sponge and Aunt Spiker seeing him. He was terribly excited. He flew through the long grass and the stinging nettles, not caring whether he got stung or not, on his bare knees. And in the distance, he could see Aunt Sponge and Aunt Spiker sitting in their chairs with their backs toward him. He swerved away from them so as to go around the other side of the house. But then suddenly, just as he was passing underneath the old peach tree that stood in the middle of the garden, his foot slipped and he fell flat on his face in the grass. The paper bag burst open as he hit the ground, and the thousands of tiny green things were scattered in all directions. James immediately picked himself up onto his hands and to his knees and started searching around for the precious treasures. But what was this? They were all sinking into the soil. He could actually see them wriggling and twisting as they burrowed their way downward into the hard earth. And at once, he reached out a hand to pick up some, and before it was too late, they disappeared right under his fingers. He went after some others, and the same thing happened. He began scrabbling around frantically in an effort to catch each of these, but they were just sadly too quick for him. Each time the tips of his fingers were about to touch them, they vanished into the earth. And soon, in the space of only a few seconds, every single one of them had gone. James felt like crying. He would never get them back now. They were lost, lost, lost forever. But where had they gone to? And why in the world had they been so eager to push down into the earth like that? What were they after? There was nothing down there. Well, nothing except the roots of the old peach tree and a whole lot of earthworms and centipedes and insects that were living in the soil. But what was it that the old man had said? Whoever they meet first, be it a bug, an insect, an animal, or a tree, that will be the one who gets the full power of their magic. Good heavens, thought James, what is going to happen in the case that they meet an earthworm, or a centipede, or a spider? And what if they do go into the roots of a peach tree? "Get up at once, you lazy little beast!" A voice was suddenly shouting in James's ear. James glanced up and saw Aunt Spiker standing over him, grim and tall and bony, glaring at him through her steel-rimmed spectacles. "Get back over there immediately and finish chopping up those logs," she ordered. Aunt Sponge, fat and pulpy as a jellyfish, came waddling up behind her sister to see what was going on. "Why don't we just lower the boy down into the well and leave him there for the night?" she said. "That ought to teach him not to laze around the whole day long." "That's a very good wheeze, my dear Sponge, but let's make him finish chopping up the wood first. Be off with you at once, you hideous brat, and go get some work done." Slowly, sadly, poor James got off the ground and went back to the woodpile. Oh, if only he hadn't slipped and fallen and dropped that precious bag. All hope of a happier life had gone completely now. Today and tomorrow and the next day and all the other days would all be nothing but punishment and pain, unhappiness and despair. He picked up the chopper and was about to start chopping away again when he heard a shout behind him that made him stop and turn. Chapter 6. "Sponge! Sponge! Come here at once! Look at this!" "At what?" "It's a peach!" Aunt Spiker was shouting. "A what?" "A peach, right up there on the highest branch. Can't you see it?" "I think you must be mistaken, my dear Spiker. That miserable tree never has any peaches on it." "There's one on it now, Sponge. You look for yourself." "You're teasing me, Spiker. You're making my mouth water on purpose when there's nothing to put into it. Why, that tree's never even had a blossom on it, let alone a peach. Right up on the highest branch, you say? I can't see a thing. Very funny. Huh. Gracious me, I'll be blowed. There really is a peach up there. A nice big one, too," Aunt Spiker said. A beauty, Aunt Sponge cried out. At this point, James slowly put down his chopper and turned, and looked across at the two women, who were standing underneath the peach tree. "Something's about to happen," he told himself. "Something peculiar is about to happen at any moment." But he hadn't the faintest idea what it might be. But he could feel it in his bones, that something was going to happen soon. He could feel it in the air around him, in the sudden stillness that had fallen upon the garden. James tiptoed a little closer to the tree. The ants were now really not talking. Their mouths were open. They were just standing there, staring at the peach. There was not a sound anywhere, not even a breath of wind, and overhead the sun blazed down upon them out of a deep blue sky. "It looks right to me," Aunt Spiker said, breaking the silence. "Then why don't we eat it?" Aunt Sponge suggested, licking her thick lips. "We can each have half." "Hey you, James, come over here at once and climb this tree." James came running over. "I want you to pick that peach up there on the highest branch," Aunt Sponge went on. "Can you see it?" "Yes, Aunt Sponge, I can see it. And don't you dare eat any of it yourself. Your Aunt Spiker and I are going to have it between us right here and now, half each. Get on with you, up you go." James crossed over to the tree trunk. "Stop," Aunt Spiker quickly said. "Hold everything." She was staring up into the branches with her mouth wide open. Her eyes were bulging as though she had seen a ghost. "Look, look, look." "What's the matter with you?" Aunt Sponge demanded. "It's growing," Aunt Spiker cried. "It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger." "What is?" "The peach, of course. You're joking." "Well, look for yourself." "But my dear Spiker, that's perfectly ridiculous. That's impossible. That's... Now wait, just a minute. No, that can't be right. No, yes, great Scott, the thing really is growing. It's nearly twice as big already," Aunt Spiker shouted. "It can't be true. It is true. It must be a miracle. Watch it, watch it." "I am watching it." "Great heavens alive," Aunt Spiker yelled. "I can actually see the thing bulging and swelling before my very eyes."